Real Madrid and Manchester City, 5 straight Champions League knockout ties, 11 aggregate goals across just one two-legged semi-final back in 2022, a penalty shootout so tense that the entire footballing world was holding its breath. These two clubs have served up some of the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping moments in the history of European football, and it's not even close. Since 2022, every single time these two have met in the Champions League, something unbelievable has happened. We're talking last-minute miracles, goalkeeping heroics, dominant demolition jobs, and a world-class Norwegian striker who just could not escape a German defender's shadow. 6 moments, 6 reasons why Real Madrid versus Manchester City is the greatest rivalry in modern Champions League history. Let's get into it. Erling Haaland, the most feared striker on the planet. A man who scored 52 goals in his debut season at Manchester City, including 12 in the Champions League alone. A guy who had torn apart every single defense in Europe that season. And in the 2024 UCL quarterfinal against Real Madrid, Antonio Rüdiger simply broke him. Across both legs of that tie, Haaland failed to score. Not once. 0 goals. And it's not like City weren't doing everything right in the second leg at the Etihad. Guardiola's side registered a jaw-dropping 88 touches inside Real Madrid's penalty box. That is the most ever recorded in a single Champions League match. They had 33 shots. Haaland even headed one off the crossbar. And still, Madrid held on. Rüdiger never left Haaland's side. He was physical, disciplined, and absolutely relentless from first whistle to last. City completed 846 passes in that second leg, more than double Madrid's 373. They had 67% of the ball, and yet the best striker in the world went home without a goal because of one man's defensive masterclass. Rüdiger didn't just mark Haaland, he erased him from the game. Pure, brilliant defending against the most devastating attacker in world football. It is May 2023, UCL semi-final, first leg at the Santiago Bernabéu. City have started brilliantly, controlling the ball for nearly 70% of the first half. Madrid haven't managed a single shot, and then, out of absolutely nowhere, they counter. Camavinga drives forward from deep, plays in Vinicius Jr., and the Brazilian puts it onto his right foot and unleashes an unstoppable rocket from nearly 30 yards out. 1 shot, 1 goal. Madrid are ahead against the run of play. Absolutely classic. City keeps pressing. Madrid sits deeper and soaks up the pressure. And then in the 67th minute, Rodri intercepts the ball deep in Madrid's half. It gets played to Gundogan. He lays it off. De Bruyne takes 1 touch, shapes up, and fires a low, powerful drive from outside the box that screams past Courtois into the bottom corner. The Bernabéu goes silent. That goal made De Bruyne the first ever player to score in separate Champions League away knockout stage matches against Real Madrid. 11 of his 14 UCL goals at that point had come in the knockout stages. The man is built for the biggest moments. Even in the most intimidating stadium in Europe, he delivered. The tie ended 1-1 with everything still to play for at the Etihad. If the first leg had been a cagey, tense battle, the second leg at the Etihad was something completely different. One of the most dominant performances in Champions League knockout history. City had drawn 1-1 at the Bernabéu. They came home and dismantled the defending European champions. 4 goals, none in reply. 5-1 on aggregate. Bernardo Silva opened the scoring in the 23rd minute and added a second in the 37th, putting City 2 up at halftime and in full control. De Bruyne was absolutely masterful, carving Madrid open with every touch and finishing the night with 1 assist. Ancelotti tried making changes, bringing on Rüdiger, shuffling the shape, and nothing worked. Eder Militao, trying to cope with City's relentless pressure, turned the ball into his own net for the 3rd. Julian Alvarez slotted home the 4th in injury time just to put an exclamation point on it all. When the final whistle blew, Guardiola called it the greatest performance of his managerial career. That is an extraordinary statement from a man who has coached some of the best sides in football history. But watching City that night, it was impossible to disagree. A passing of the baton. A statement delivered with total authority. By the 2024 quarterfinal, everyone expected the headlines to belong to Haaland, Vinicius, or De Bruyne. Nobody was talking about Andriy Lunin, the backup goalkeeper who had stepped in for the injured Thibaut Courtois. Nobody except Lunin himself. The second leg at the Etihad was extraordinary. City pressed relentlessly, registered 88 touches inside Madrid's box, and dominated every single phase of the game. Haaland hit the crossbar. De Bruyne equalized in the 76th minute. It finished 1-1 on the night and 4-4 on aggregate. Penalties. Ederson made the first big save, denying Modric to hand City the early advantage. But then Lunin took over. Bernardo Silva stepped up and chipped the ball straight down the middle, and Lunin stood his ground and caught it cleanly. Then Mateo Kovacic stepped up. Lunin dived to his right, saved again. 2 penalties, 2 saves. The tie had completely flipped. Rüdiger stepped up last, buried his spot kick into the bottom corner, and Madrid were through to the semi-finals for the 4th straight year. City had dominated for 120+ minutes and still went home. That is what Lunin did. Backup goalkeeper, the biggest stage in club football, absolutely flawless when it mattered most. This is the moment City fans will replay in their nightmares forever. May 4th, 2022, Santiago Bernabéu, second leg. City are leading 5-3 on aggregate in the 87th minute. Paris is waiting. The final is right there, and then Jack Grealish comes within inches of sealing it. 2 massive chances in under a minute. His first effort was heading into the goal before Ferland Mendy launched himself across the line and somehow cleared it away. One of the most crucial last-ditch clearances you will ever see in football. But City weren't done. Seconds later, Grealish got another touch. Clean contact. The ball was heading in, and Courtois, with electric reflexes, thrust out his left boot and sent it away. 2 chances, 2 goal line saves. If either one of those goes in just one, there is no Madrid comeback. There is no Benzema penalty in extra time. The Bernabéu stays quiet and City go to Paris. Instead, the stadium exploded 3 minutes later, and the entire course of history changed. Mendy's clearance and Courtois' kick save are arguably the 2 most consequential moments in the history of this fixture. Same match. The greatest Champions League comeback in living memory. It is the 90-minute. Real Madrid are trailing 1-0 on the night and 5-3 on aggregate. Fans have already started leaving the stadium. Guardiola is 90 seconds from the final. Madrid has not managed a single shot on target all night. It is over. Completely over. And then everything changes. Benzema plays a cutback across the face of the goal. Rodrigo slides in and converts, 1-1 on the night. The 4th official holds up the board for 6 minutes of added time. The Bernabéu completely erupts. Then, just 60 seconds later, Dani Carvajal whips a cross in from the right. Rodrigo rises and heads it perfectly into the top left corner. 5-5 on aggregate. In 2 minutes, Madrid has gone from dead and buried to completely alive. It is pure, unhinged, extraordinary football. In the 95th minute of extra time, Benzema won a penalty after being fouled by Ruben Dias. He stepped up himself, sent Ederson the wrong way, and Real Madrid were in the final. Manchester City were eliminated. 6-5 on aggregate, one of the greatest nights in the entire history of European football. Real Madrid versus Manchester City, 5 years, 6 legendary moments, and with these 2 clubs drawn together again in the 2026 Champions League round of 16, history is about to be made once more. Make sure you are watching. Let us know in the comments about your favorite moments.